for the umpteenth thousandth time. Word problems. When you do these word problems, I know that you probably can do these in your head. And again, I don't care, kind of ish. Okay, because the stuff we're doing is like the building blocks for the stuff that you can't do in your heads. And if you get in the habit of showing your work and writing things down and organizing things in such a way that you get it, when the hard problems come, you'll be able to organize them just like that, and the hard problems will then become easy. If you start doing them in your head and you just write stuff down, when you get to the hard problems, you won't have any idea about that. How about that? A lot of times people clap after I give that speech, but it doesn't matter. No. We are talking about addition and subtraction word problems. Addition/subtracting. And what one must understand is that they really form only in a couple different ways there. And then the book throws this at you. Sometimes you get it, sometimes you're not. They either follow this. When you talk about addition and subtraction problems, they are either about combining, if you're a farmer, or combining if you're not. Okay, when you're putting stuff together, when you combine something, what type of problem probably is that? If I say I had 15 boys and then I combine them with the 5 girls, how many do I have all together? What type of problem is that, Jaden? Adding, subtracting, multiplying, or dividing. Did he say something? Yes, he said adding, I'm sure. And they look like this. The generic form of this is you have some, and you add some more to it, and you get a total. That's kind of like common sense, isn't it? You know, you have 5 blue marbles, you add 3 red marbles to it. How many is that? That's an adding one. With subtraction, you have a separating one, right? If you have 15 kids and you separate the boys from the girls, there's 15 boys, that's a separating problem, and that's probably subtraction, and it looks like this. You start with sum, and what happens? You subtract the ones that go away, and then you get your, what's the book say here, total, that's left. And then there's one more. One more that I think you'll find very exciting if I can find it. Oh! The other one is comparing. Comparing. What color shall we go with for comparing? Let's go with pink. When you compare things, if you say how much older or how much bigger, you know, you're saying, well, what type of problem do you suppose that is? How much more? Bob has $35. Tim has $16. When you compare them, how much more does Bob have than that? What type of problem would that be? Subtract it. In which case it would look like this. Usually when you do those type of problems, it looks like the greater minus the lesser equals the difference. And again, when we do these problems, you'll look at that and go, I don't need to think about any of that stuff. And I'm just saying, probably not right now, but later you probably will. So here's an example. Write this one down. By the way, they'll ask you about combining, separating, and comparing. So don't come back to me and say, I don't remember ever talking about combining, separating, or comparing. But we did because I just said it right now. Here is a problem they may or may not give you. I will find it, don't you worry. Alberto went to a store with a $20 bill. We'll just call him L. L went store $20. Look how nicely we repeated that. Alberto bought bread and a half a gallon of milk for $4.83. He bought, is that a good deal by the way? Bread and milk for $4, did I say 83 cents? $4.83. The clerk gave him, wait, that's not a problem. There's not a question there. I guess there is. How much does the clerk give him back? How much will clerk give him back? Not Clark. Clark's a guy named Clerk. Give him back. To which I ask you, now here's where you have to think a little bit. Think outside the proverbial box. I know you know what you have to do to find the answer, but I'm going to ask you, what type of problem is this? Is it a combining, separating, or comparing problem? You could probably make a case for two of them, probably not for one of them though. And then I would ask you, how would you write that out, not using numbers but with words? Elijah Fisher.
Separating from isolated.
Okay, you could think of it in the sense of you're separating the $20, right? And how would you write that like this then?
$20 minus $4.83.
You started with some. You took away $4.83, and you're going to have what's left, which is what? How much, by the way, is that? How much change did you get back? You should be able to do it without doing the subtraction. You should be able to tell me exactly how much change that is. Jane Jude?
$15.17.
1517. How many of you could actually do that in your head? Jade, what's your thought process when you do that in your head?
17.
I mean, did you do the whole thing like you do on paper and you cross out and you put 0, 0, 0, 0s? Because I don't do that. Huh?
It's all the
Here, well, let's say you've got this, Jade. Let's say you've got $1,000 minus $15.72. How much change did you get? Correct. Again, I don't think you're doing in your head crossing off and carrying and borrowing things. I think you're doing it the way you do it. Anybody? Anybody else get that? How do you do, if you were doing change like that, what's your thought process of that? Let's just stop and learn. Because usually it means we get fewer problems at the end. Just so you know. Elijah Fisher?
If it was greater than 50 cents, I would do it counting since it is 12.3 cents. So that I'd minus the total.
Yeah, but I think that's probably doing it still hard way. Anybody? Easy way to do this? Anytime you're taking away from that? Notice what Jaden said the answer was to this. He said 9, 8, 4, 2, 8, right? 9, 8, 4, 2, 8. Notice what you get in all these. If I put my $15.72 here, what do you get if you add this together? 8 and 1 is, what do you get 4 and 5 together? 7 and 2 together. But the last one is 10, right? What do you get when you add 9 and 0 together? So you just look at this number and you figure out what gives you 9s for anything except for the last one. You figure out what added to it gives you a 10, because when you add that 10 to it, what happens? You put a 0 there and you carry it. This 9 becomes a 10. 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 And that's where you started off with $1,000. So if you think about what gives you 9s for all those columns except the last one, you'll always be able to subtract from this. Let's do that again because I can tell you're really excited about that. So let's say you've got $10,000 and you're subtracting $4,362.21. The answer is going to be this. It's very simple. What plus 4 gives you 9? 5. What plus 3 gives you 9? 6 gives you 9. 7 gives you 9. But this last one has to give you 10 because when you add it back together, it carries around. Somebody gives you $10,000 and you're taking away $4,360.21. The change would be $5,637.79. Does that make any sense? Is that not a hard way to do that there? Now, it changes a little bit if this would have been 70,000. Okay, only in the sense that you've got to make up the other $6,000 that would take to get to that there, but not there. One more time because, so let's say somebody gives you a $100 bill and their, whatever they bought was $17.46. Change would be, think about what gives you 9s for those things. Carol Winkleman?
82.54.
Right, $82.54. Gives you 9, 9, 9, 10 in the last one. I don't know where that's going, but some of you may be able to make change now. I don't know. Oh, back to the problem we were just talking about. Where'd that go? I would suggest that for this problem here, this really is a combining problem. I would make more of a case for that because I am combining the price of the bread plus the price of the milk. Bread plus milk gives me a total. Well, that might make sense, would it? Well, let's get that. Would it? How much was the bread and the milk? And how much was the total? Oh no, why would this, what would have to be this? I missed the part there when you combine it. You have to take the bread plus the milk plus what? The change you get back gives you $20 for a total. The bread and the milk cost $4.83. The change you don't know equals total. And then when you do the problem here, what do you have to do? It ends up being a subtraction problem, but it's an addition beginning problem to subtract to find the answer. Let's do another one, just because I can tell that probably too. So let me go what's there. Open your books to page 22/23. They're going to ask you what type of problem it is. Look at letter D. Look at letter D. From 1990 to 2000, the population of Garfield increased from 180,635 to 215,768. How many more people lived in Garland in 2000 than in 90? What type of problem is that, first of all? Is it a separating? Is it a combining? Is it a comparing? You're looking at two different populations. Josh says,
Is it comparing?
it is comparing. What are you comparing the earlier population to the other population, and what type of problem is it comparing one? That is your greater minus the lesser one. Greater minus lesser equals total. What was my greater population? 215,768. What was my lesser population? 180,635. Anybody do that one in their head? I think it's a little too many digits there. 215,768. That equals the difference, by the way. And you get 186.35. 3315, what? 35,133. And again, make sure I see your work when you do those. You're not going to beat the dead horse anymore. Your assignment, children.